Welcome, everybody, to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and this is where we talk about anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers, wherever they may shoot. And as you can see, I got my, trusty, dusty, fill-in co-host, Trouble Stirrer. That's what we're going to call
God almighty, why I got to be the trouble stirrer this week?
Wayne Horton. What up, Dwayne?
Same old, man. How's it going on in your end of the hood?
Man, it is going awesome. We've had a good time. I hate that I didn't get down there on the first ASA weekend.
No, I don't think you hate it. You don't hate it as bad as you think you hate it.
Weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
So how was your weekend? And make it short, because I know that you.
Okay, I can make it real short.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. How about that? We'll just nip it in the bud. Bam, there you go.
Well, there were some Georgians down there shooting with you. Let's just go straight into it. Who shot this weekend? Well, we all know it was the first ASA of the year, 2025. Kicked off in Foley, Alabama, and it was cold. It was cold as cold than you could think of, and wet.
Yeah, day one was kind of Wednesday was wet, Thursday was a little wet, and then here come the cold weather. I think it was 20 when I woke up. It was 26 degrees.
Oh, that's just awesome.
Yeah. So it was terrible. Yep. It was terrible.
Well, there was 135 shooters at that event from Georgia. So Georgia shooters were 135, and I tell you what, we had a good turnout in the top 10. I'll run the first 3 or 4, and you run the rest of them. So we're just going to get this knocked out real fast. Okay. In Eagle Open boys, Brody Broadnaxon's in the top 4. He finished 4th overall, and Bo Tanner finished 5th overall.
Right.
So in the known 40, Simeon Edenfield come up in 9th place. He snuck in that top 10.
He did. Had a good day.
So in the known, that ain't right. Known 50. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Known 50. Jazz Leach come in there. He had a bad first day, cleaned it up on the second day, ended up in the top 6.
That's right.
Congratulations on that. Men's Open 45. So that's essentially judging yardage, right?
Yep.
Walker Scarborough was in there in 4th place. Congratulations on that. Now your turn.
Then you get to men's pins 30. You had 9th place Jay Davidson with a 401 and 8 rings. That was a good job, Jay. Yeah, Olympic recurve come in 2nd. Timothy Smith with a 394 and 6 rings. And AJ Clements, he's a homeboy of mine from
AJ.
3rd. Yep, he came in 3rd with a 390 and 6 rings.
That's right.
You got Open Pro. You got Samuel Smith, came in 5th with 421 and 18 rings. He ended with 460 and 460 and 18. Yeah.
Yeah, he tried his best to shoot some 14s in the shoot down.
Oh yeah, we were standing behind him. He was doing.
Sam's a great guy.
He is.
Yep. And Corey Bryant finished the top 10, round that out. So
he did.
So that's awesome. You're gonna have to do your plug thing. So let's see. We got a senior known pro. Clint Smith sneaked out a top 10 with 412 and 12 bonus rings. I'm gonna skip this last one right here because there's gonna be something bigger on that. Senior known Jeff Markham.
Yeah.
Yep. 419 with 13 X's. That's shooting. Senior Masters. That's the old guys, right?
That's the 70 plus. Yeah,
dude, I just want to be shooting, right? Senior Masters, Barry Moon is in the house in the top 4. Good job, Barry.
Good job.
With 378 and 4. So
rings,
yeah, they. I tell you what, I have to say something because someone used to tell me that was in that class. He said, look, all you got to do is shoot halfway decent and show up the next day. Because when you show up the next day, half of those guys have done got tired, wore out. They don't show back up, and and somebody's done died. So you're good to go. You can make the top. You show up the second day. That shit's funny as hell. But Super Senior, that's the big boys. Oh, Hugh Bryant with a 397 and 5.
Yep.
Super Senior known David Parsons with 410 and 13.
We got to talk about that.
Okay.
We got to talk about David because David came. He come in 6th, but day 1, David blew his bow up.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep, he blew his bow up. So he shot a.
Inside information, baby.
Yeah, so he shot. Well, Daddy and Buster. He was actually shooting with Buster.
Yeah.
And he shot a pin knock that had got nicked the target before. His bow blew up. He had to run down. Last Chance Archery had a little tent set up with the bow press.
Yeah, they have the press and all the stuff.
So he goes in there. He puts brand new cams on that thing, puts his bow all back together, runs back down to the range, and I swear to you, the next target, he was first up when he got back on the range after the breakdown and smoked a 12 at like 36 yards.
Oh, confidence all day long.
Confidence all day. He smoked it, and it was like he didn't even miss a beat. 100%. And here he is,
top 6
in top 6.
That's awesome.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah.
So women's K40, that was Sophie Amadero. She that was her first time in the known 40 class. She's a young lady, 414 and 13. She had a rough first day. Come back on second, felt like it was pretty good. Okay. That's not an easy class to play in, because moving from the youth to the adult class is not easy. Women's K45, Gabriela Alfaro. Yeah, I'm going to have to pump that up. 422 and 12. She actually shot better than second place because she had less 12s. But that's awesome. That's her first time in K45. K45 is essentially.
Did she just get pushed out of?
She got pushed out of known 40.
Okay,
yep.
There you go.
Pushed out of known 40. That's her first round in K45, and there she is on the podium again. Boom. I told her, I said, your next step is pro, right? And she said, I understand. She works at the shop with us. She works after hours when she gets out of school, comes over and works with us a few hours every day. And then Melinda Hawk was right behind her in 4th place with a 416 and 10 12s. I mean, 10 bonus rings. That's awesome,
That's awesome.
Women's pins 30 was
Stephanie Wallace.
Stephanie Wallace.
Down there, Bullseye Archery.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. With 387 and 6 rings.
All right, go ahead and get the rest of them.
You got women's pins 40. You got Kirsten Noling in 6th place with a 359 and 1 ring. You got Youth Open Girls with coming in at 5th place is Kailey Garrett with a 409 and 11 rings.
We talked about her last week. She won the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's really good shooting. If you look at that score, she's got 11 rings with a 409 right there. She was shooting really well. And then she had an oopsie. That's what that tells me right there.
An oopsie.
Yeah, an oopsie.
So on Saturday, Acres Archery had the CSRM. We talked about that last week. The qualifier, and they had 40 shooters this Saturday. Yeah. So that's bow hunter guys that are trying to shoot. And then Ogeechee Bowman had a little shoot going on over there with 33 archers.
33.
So even with the 135 archers that were gone to Foley, Alabama, these two little shoots right here ended up with 40 on Saturday and 33 on Sunday. That's really good.
That's right.
It means a lot of archers are shooting bows.
Yeah.
I skipped one on purpose.
Yep, you sure did.
And you know why I skipped one on purpose?
Why'd you skip her?
I skipped her for the simple reason that she's here to talk to us today. I'm going to tell you a little something.
Can I get some pointers while we got her? Can I get some pointers?
I've been knowing this girl forever. We talking forever, right? I don't know. I can't tell you how long. I've been doing this for 25 plus years, and I've been knowing her 25 plus years.
Goodness gracious.
This young lady right here used to beat up on us guys way back when, and we played knockout one time, and I'm telling you, don't ever play knockout with this young lady.
Okay.
Anyway, so without further ado, and Kailey Johnston Make sure I say her name right.
Pettepher.
I will say it wrong because it's been Kailey Johnston forever. Me
I
and
got
Terry been go way back when. But anyway, here she is. Hey, Kailey, how are you doing?
Hi.
you. There she is.
Dude, let me tell you what. I was so happy to see you back in the top five. Much less, I mean, you smoked it this weekend. You walked in there waiting for everybody to catch up with you.
I did. Yeah. I just, I've been in so many shoot downs where it was so close and 1 or 2 points here and there. And I felt really comfortable going into this shoot down with a 5 point lead. So just kind of played it out and it ended up being 10 points by the end of it. So,
Oh my goodness! I tell you, it was so fun to watch. I enjoy watching you shoot. Right, I've watched you shoot against the women when you was young, right? I tell we was talking about Gabby, and I tell Gabby all the time. I said you remind me of someone so much, you know, because like we moved her out of youth because she was just beating up on those girls, right? And she's like, I need more. I want a challenge. I said, well, let's go to Goat on 40. It's the same distance. It's nothing different. And then ASA says, hey, you got to go,
Hmm.
right? And then she turns around and she had. I'll tell you a story about her. She shot real good practice round, and then it went to the team round, and she shot freaking 36 clicks straight right. And she's like, something ain't right. So she started clicking and got it back in. So I don't know. I'm not gonna point fingers at somebody because you don't never know. But she set her bow down, and when she set her bow down, she turned around and put it back, and never went to a practice bell, never went to a nothing, and then she clicked it back in, and she 12'd out most of the rest of the 10 targets. So she had 2 5s on the first, and then she ended up with a 10, and then the rest were 12. So
okay.
good for her,
Good for her.
confidence and to get it back right and to go in and finish pretty good. So she did well. But she reminds me of you so much. I mean, we shot together. God, I don't. I mean, I remember you going to Turkey, right? You and
Yeah.
Paige,
Yeah.
traveling, and I remember all of those times. I've seen you with a couple of different coaches, and I'm telling you, it's like awesome. I was so happy to see you back in the shoot down because I know you've had your last year was rough for you.
Yeah. It was. I started the year out pretty good and then it kind of faded from there. I had a couple of second, third place finishes, and then in Louisiana, obviously, I was in the lead, and all I needed was, I don't know, all I needed to do was to shoot a 10, and I hit right above the 10, misjudged it, and
Yep.
oh, that was heartbreaking. And then I made shoot downs from there on out, but I didn't have another top three finish. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to start out strong this year. I really wanted to get my bow tuned. I wanted to be confident. And that's really one thing that I walked into this tournament was confidence. So,
Yeah. Well,
So
that's
to answer this question, like, because I was, I follow. While I'm on the range shooting, I follow. Like, try and follow along while I'm on the range shooting, and you were head and shoulders above the whole all weekend long. You were head and shoulders above everybody else. What did you do, if you did anything different, to prepare for this year than you've done in previous years?
I'm not really sure. I feel like I put a little bit more dedication into it. Last year I had Cooper and he was a baby. My husband works out of town, so it's just me during the week. And now we can go outside and he can play with his little toys while I shoot. I post videos of that all the time of him can't understand what he says and he
the
just is sitting there
distraction
talking to
training.
me, playing. So I can shoot and practice while he's sitting out in the yard playing. So that's one
Yep.
thing that's different. Um, but I really shot my bow a lot, I feel like. A lot more than I normally would to get
You
prepared.
you prepared a little more, is what you're saying,
Hmm. I did.
because you looked at the last year. I mean, if anybody doesn't know, this young lady paid her way through college off winnings from ASA.
Yep, I did. So a little bit of backstory on me. I started shooting when I was 8 years old. Me and my dad used to go around and shoot.
Big
he used
sexy.
to take he used to take me to bigger and bigger tournaments here and there. I ended up shooting like my first ASA when I was 10 or 11. It was probably about 10. And then from there, I started shooting FIDA style stuff and made my first World Cup, Junior World Cup team going to Turkey when I was 12. So I went to Turkey and competed, and we won like, I don't want to be wrong, but it was like 3 gold medals there.
Yep.
So, and then from there, we went to the next 2 years. It was every 2 years that we had something. I went to China and
Yep.
then Turkey and Puerto Rico.
It's
I
and
went to
set
Turkey twice.
and
So
set some records, right?
I did. I have world records.
That's right.
So
It's
it
under
was
it was fun to watch you do that as a youth, right?
right.
I watched Curtis do the same thing, right? Curtis Broadnax, if you don't know, I watched him go through the youth thing, and what's funny is Curtis didn't shoot his first tournament till he's 14.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
and you were shooting when you were 8, 9. Oh, Terry dragged you along, and you were shooting. You had flawless form. You shoot from the big boy stakes with us. Have a good time, and you learn. I don't know. I mean, you shot from the farther back than what you needed to
Mhm.
early in the time, right? And
I
then
did.
and then you shot. You had two different. I remember two different coaches. The so far, so you learned from couple of different people.
Yep.
So and which is good because learning from two different people helps a lot, right? Because they're different,
Yep.
and so and you carry along what you've learned from one and what things could be better from the other, right?
Yep.
Speaking of that, we were at the indoor 5 spot, and Jim came in for the first time. I ain't seen him in like forever, so it was awesome.
That's awesome.
See Jim.
Yeah, so my first coach, Ginger Hopwood,
Yep.
she taught me a lot. A
Oh, for
lot, a
sure.
lot, a lot. She dedicated a lot of time into me and really built a foundation that lasted.
Yep.
And my second one obviously was Jim Pruitt.
Yep.
Love him to death. Me and Jim and Michelle, they used to pack me up and take me to tournaments
Yep.
with their daughter that competed. So it was really fun and it really um,
Yeah.
they spent a lot of time helping me.
You and Samantha became like inseparable,
Hmm.
essentially, or like every time y'all showed up, it was a pair. Because when you was with Jim,
Yep.
because Samantha was coming, she was doing, and you were there along the ride, and it was awesome. I mean, I tell you, it was great. And you found some great friends along the way, right? I mean, you was in Emily's wedding. You know,
Yep.
um, she's a great girl. You and Paige were like tight like glue for the longest time.
Yep. So me
Uh,
and Paige are like 6 months age difference. So we
that's right.
grew up shooting together. So
Oh yeah,
I've pretty much been friends with Paige since I was 10 or 11. We made our first World Cup together. Like we traveled
that's
to
right.
Turkey together.
Oh yeah.
And so we've been friends the entire time. And me and Emily also, I've made lots of friendships over the way. We've been friends 15 plus years.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
seen a picture that Paige posted of you
yep.
guys a long time. What was
That
that?
was
2 days
that
ago,
was
3 days ago,
awesome.
something like that. That was a cool picture to see, and kind of like for everybody that don't know the backstory, your
Oh, yeah.
backstory, because she's out in the forefront. I mean, she posts every day informational stuff like that, and for other people that don't realize that there's a plethora of other archers out there like yourself
Yep.
that shoot with her and alongside her. It was kind of cool to see South Georgia girl kind of in the
Well,
mix. That was pretty cool
I
to see.
remember Paige coming across from one coast to the other
Uh
to
huh.
practice before y'all went to Turkey and before you went to
Yep.
different places, because And that's what, I joke with her all the time. I'm like, girl, I watched you grow up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've not grown up yet. So, but I mean, and I've watched you the same way. We used to joke about it. We was in
Yeah.
Gainesville. We was in Gainesville, Florida. It was cold. It wasn't as cold as it was this weekend, but we had ice on the stuff, and you were shooting against the women, and we'd all went down there and just watched you, mutilate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you were so far ahead at the half that it was like you could have sat out and still win the thing. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
We do that. We still do that. What are you talking about? Like
Yeah, but
she,
it's
she
just
like her name gets thrown around our range like all like
yeah.
between well obviously between the Georgia boys anyways. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for sure.
So we're sitting there waiting for the five. When they post the scores after every five
Yeah, we
targets.
just want to see who else is
We're
on
waiting
the
to see her
list.
name and exactly where she's at and stuff like
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
we'll do that.
so you're right. Like I grew up shooting all this video stuff and put myself through college. 3D obviously is what made the money. So
for sure.
when I went to college, I decided just to focus on my 3D side of archery since I turned pro when I was 16. So that was really the money maker for me.
Hmm.
And I decided to be smart with my money because archery is not going to be forever. And I wanted a career, and I didn't want to depend on a skill to be able to make money and provide for a family one day. So
Mhm.
I did. I made the smart decision. I got my bachelor's in nursing and
You.
started work. I graduated in 2017 with that. So it took me 4 years. So I just wanted to be smart with it and make a career for myself. And now I do both. So
Oh, for sure. And as
That's
long as
awesome.
you can, you will. I mean,
Well,
I
that's
know,
awesome.
I know that, but that's the coolest, and that's what I tell everybody. Like, archery doesn't pay the bills, right? Essentially, every pro that's on the range has a day job for the most part, right? There's always a few that doesn't have a day job, but they have something, right? Everybody knows who Tim Gillingham is. He works for Gold Tip. He works for, Bee Stinger. So everybody understands that he has a day job also. So he gets a paycheck on the other side. And all of these people are either in the industry or they're working another job, right? The
yeah.
funniest thing about the women's pro class, all right, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm lazy. I don't judge no more. I just don't.
I don't want to judge.
I mean, but Caleb will tell you, we all judged. We
Yeah.
judged artists for years,
Well, that's what my
right?
dad when
Oh,
he first started, there
a
was
hun-
no known, there was nothing known.
a
You had
hundred
to
percent.
judge.
We judged artists. There was no doubt about it.
Right.
But I don't have the time and the effort to put in. Um, and I know it's not easy, but it's one of those things that once you honed your skills, like you were talking about your practice and your so forth, once you've honed your skills, all you're doing is knocking the rust off.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with your judging, right? You go in there and you look at this spot, look at that spot. You probably have a few targets in the yard. You actually run an archery shoot so that you can see different angles and I saw your husband was cutting up.
And it's
you know,
it's a hell of a archery.
yep,
It's a hell of a range. I can tell
yep.
you that. Yeah.
That black steak ain't no joke, is it?
Black
Because
steak ain't no joke, brother. I promise you.
Hey, you can ask anybody that comes here. There was somebody that made a comment this weekend. They said, I think your range was harder than the ASA range that they shot this weekend. And
It
I was
was.
like, well,
It
if you
was.
don't practice hard, if you
you
don't
ain't not
learn something from your practice, you're not
100%.
gonna,
It's
Yeah.
not.
you're not gonna progress.
You didn't move forward.
Right.
Hmm.
So I
That's right.
mean, and then that's what I mean. You've done that since y'all been setting up your range.
Hmm.
You know,
I
um,
don't think I think I had when I went and shot her last shoot, there was one target under 40. The rest of them was 45 plus. The ranges that we shot this weekend, I shot the same range she shot. The ranges we shot this weekend, the first range, I think the average out there was 43. The second range, I think the average was 47. Her range was by far harder than the ranges. And I'm not saying that they should
but
be.
that's not a
They
bad thing.
should be. You know what I mean? But I can tell you this: when you pull up to Rocky Creek and you know that she set a range, she set it to challenge you 100%. That's why we like going there.
It's a
Yep.
growth. There's no doubt. I've made the drive several times. It ain't no easy ride for me, but I go down there to support, and I mean, knowing that you're going to find something different, right?
Mhm.
We've talked about it before with now Scott's setting all the ranges, right? We go see what we're going to see at the national level at Scott's house. I mean,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
And same thing with Kailey. She knows what. I mean, like you said, she went pro at 16.
Yep. I promise it's very strategic. I go and we write down all the numbers to each stake. There's never the same stake at the same distance, and
Oh,
it's
100%.
very strategic.
Yeah.
So I definitely want people to benefit from the practice because I mean, if you're going to drive hours away,
Well,
why not learn
tell
something from
everybody
it?
the name of your club and when your next shoot is, so that everybody
Um,
can have it. And she goes,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, you
So
put me
it's
on the spot."
Rocky Creek Archery Club, and I'm gonna have to look at that date.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I don't
Look,
have it right here. Usually I have a calendar right here beside me,
you
but my
can find
calendar.
it on the Georgia Archery calendar because I actually
Yes.
put everything on there,
Yes.
and try my best to do a pretty good job of keeping up with everybody. But yeah, Kaylee, I remember when you went pro.
Yep.
I mean, and it's funny and ha ha, and I'm gonna say something here that's a little different. You shot one brand of bow forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was
Yeah.
actually going to be one of my questions because I don't know the history. I don't have the history y'all have.
Do you still have that? What is it? Six, whatever, seven, whatever. What's the
I
bow?
still have the
Uh,
737. Yes.
737. Yes. So you
Yeah.
still? I figured you did.
Actually, I started training a student named Reese. She lives here in town, and she was interested in shooting, and I had to find a screw for one of the mods just so she
Oh
could
my.
shoot that bow.
Oh, but
But I told her if you
that
ever wanted to get another one, that one had to come
that's
back because
got to
that
come
one won me some gold medals.
100%. I always told everybody I and everybody understands. I mean, I have shot PSE for 30 some odd years. I mean, Kaylee knows I shot PSE from the time we were growing up all the way through. I bled PSE. She bled another brand.
Hmm.
And things changed. She was going pro, and the right opportunity came. The reason I bring this up, and I'm not knocking any other brand, there's no doubt about it. They all shoot good because essentially, Kaylee, if you don't know, I'm shooting that Hoyt now.
Okay.
Yeah, for the first time, I shot Bowtech for the last 5 years, and
Hmm.
now I have switched to Hoyt. It's great shooting bow, but Matthews makes a great bow, and we have sold a ton of them. But we know that you shoot Matthews. I know that's a great shooting bow, and you got to find the right one that fits you. Because I know for a fact that you didn't shoot a tournament bow a few times
Hmm.
because it didn't fit you.
Right.
And that's fine. But what I'm saying is the reason I brought that up is we have to do what's best for us as a business.
Right.
And you were a quality shooter no matter which bow you were shooting, right? But at the same time, the Matthews family is a great family to be in.
Hmm.
I mean,
I mean,
you can.
did you see the podium?
Yes, I did.
The pro
12, 12,
podium this weekend. I
12
mean,
10 of
insane.
the 12 that were on the docket had a check. I understand that. I mean,
Mhm.
and I'm not knocking that. I'm telling you, Mac McPherson has done the best job of marketing anything in the world.
He's a genius. Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And it's a family still run company. They ain't got to tell you how many bows they make in a year because Mac McPherson runs that company, right?
That's right.
Um, but
Answer this question. What bow are you running this year? Are you running the lift or what bow are you running this year, Kaylee? For everybody, I mean, I know, but for everybody out there, what bow are you running this year?
Yeah. So I'm running the TRX.
Oh, really?
Right now.
Okay.
I shot the title some last year. Um, it's not that I don't like it, it's that the TRX fits me a little better right now. I still have some tuning things to work out with the title. I love it. It's a great shooting bow. Um, I just like to, there are certain ways I want it to be able to shoot. I want it to be able to be 100% for me.
No,
So,
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's because And I feel like you're not the only one that does it, and you're not the only one with with different brands, right? So you got different pros. I think I seen who was it? The elite Richard Bowen was shooting a result last year in Vegas instead of shooting the verdict last year. With he shoots for elite. So you're definitely not the only pro that likes what they like. You know what I mean? So if it fits
Yeah.
you, it fits you. You know what I'm saying? If the other one that just ain't feeling right now, you got to shoot with what's giving you the best opportunity to win, right? So
Yep.
that's obviously that's what you're doing right now, and you shoot the
Yes.
heck out of that damn thing.
Yeah, she definitely does, and that's what I was saying about bows because I've watched her over the years not shoot the newest bow because she's took the time to get the other bow like she wants it, and like she said, the title shoots good, but she's still working on the ins and outs to get it where. So you have a Title X now, I'm assuming, to play with,
Yeah.
and I mean I'm just going to get into it because the Title X shoots better than the Title did.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt. The
Yep.
limb change, the little hand grip change, that
Night
made
place.
a difference on that bow.
It did.
And but there's like I said, once and in your situation, I don't fault you at all, right? Essentially, what works for you is going to work for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it proved its point this weekend, right?
Yeah.
You had that bow on fire.
I did. I
I
spent
mean,
a lot of time, like the day before I left, literally the day before I left that Tuesday, um, I was sighting in that boat.
I remember. I saw
And
pictures.
then, I just kept tuning it better and better and better, and I couldn't stop, which is unlike me because once I set up a bow,
Oh, it's
like
there.
I'm not touching it for the
It's
next three
done. I
years,
remember those
literally.
days. Yeah, next 3 years. Yep. Until
Yeah.
the next one comes out, and I got to start over.
Yep.
So,
So
so
once I set it
basically,
up, it's done, and I just kept fine tuning it and fine tuning it, shooting it through paper. Like I wanted to get it exact, and it just kept shooting better and better. So I just kept going with it, and literally, the Wednesday that I went to leave, um, I finally had everything like fine tuned and sighted, and I was like, man, I hope I got the right sight tape on here. I just shot a few arrows and just went with it. It ended up being the right one, obviously,
For
but
sure.
that's super cool. So we watch, obviously we watch Paige do her thing, and she goes like a whole week ahead of time. She shoots a ton of arrows. She
mhm.
took Heather Gore with her this year, and Heather Gore is if for the people out there that don't know who that is, she's a tremendous shooter. She's from out west, and she does a lot of field, a lot of feeder stuff, and she shoots a ton of arrows. So that's not something that you normally do. So do you normally shoot a ton of arrows and change your setups and the stuff that we watch Paige do all on social media and stuff like that? So you're basically what you're saying is when you find it, it sticks and it stays and that's it.
It sure does because the bow that I began shooting last year actually was a bow that I set up in 2020.
Yep. I,
Holy moly.
I
Never
was
changed
gonna.
the strings,
I was
never
gonna.
changed
I was
anything.
gonna. I was gonna
It has
ask
been
you.
the same sight tape, same everything has been
I was
that
gonna.
way for
I
years.
was gonna ask you. Was that the 2020 bow?
Uh huh.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I mean, seeing video and pictures, and I've watched you shoot forever,
Yep.
and I was like,
And
is that bow looks familiar?
Yep.
and
you
that
know.
and we watch Kaylee, like you're saying 2020, no, it's 2025. So we're talking 4 or 5 years. And Kaylee, I don't think she's missed a shoot down since I've been watching shit. So the same bow.
Yeah, well, actually, I did when I got pregnant. I
Yep.
think I
Okay.
missed
Okay. Right.
maybe
That's what I
one or
was gonna
two.
say is, and we all said that, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, like the top several shooters, we're gonna take Sharon out of it, right? But the top several shooters, for the most part, except Emily and Sharon, have had babies, right?
Mhm.
And become pregnant, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Because it's your age group, right? You're
Yeah.
at that time, right? Um, but yeah, I thought that I was going to ask you, is that the 2020 buff? I was
Yep.
really going to ask you. So, you know, you got to pimp your sponsors. So go ahead and tell everybody what you shoot, when you shoot, what all your equipment. Just run down the list.
Yeah.
Please.
So obviously, I'm shooting the TRX. matte strings that come on it.
Black and yellow,
I
black and yellow.
currently switched over last year to a QAD rest. I really like it. I was shooting a Spot Hog Infinity rest before that, but
But you like the new tongue rest from
I really
QAD.
do. It
They
has
do it.
lots of
Adjustability.
adjustability, and it's very easy to set up. I really
Yep.
like it. Um, and it has like the dovetail, so it fits
Yep.
on the
It fits
bow.
on
It
the
doesn't
grip.
have to
Yep.
screw in, so it's really nice.
Integrated mount. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And then I shoot a true ball, or an XL slide with an XL sight with a 4-power lens.
She's still got good eyes.
Yeah, that's right.
I still shoot like a little True Glow peep, like a little $5 peep. That's all I shoot.
Yeah, you don't have anything in it, right? You're
There's
you're
nothing in
just
it.
shooting a 3/16 regular peep.
Oh, to be young, I swear to
Yep.
God.
Yep.
Yep. Still can do that. Hopefully for a little while longer.
Well,
But
Nathan Brooks was that way for the longest time too. I mean, Nathan never shot anything as Pete, and I'm like, dude, come on, you're gonna get old one day. Come on, you know.
yep.
But yeah. So what else?
And then I have AEP stabilizers.
Yep.
I
Nunzio,
have literally been with Nunzio since
he's awesome.
I was a
Oh,
kid, and he
for
sponsored me
sure.
when I was a little kid, like a little nobody that was just
Wow.
shooting, and I've been with him ever since.
Great guy.
So I will always continue to support him.
Yes.
That's super cool.
And then I am shooting the Black Eagle arrows. 500's fine with little 80s in the front. They just increased our speed this year.
Yep.
So I really had to reconfigure a lot of things
You had to do
with
some jumping. Yep.
poundage and such. So that's probably a lot of my playing around with the bow too, trying to find what I liked in that. I'll obviously shoot a true ball release.
What's the
To
release
go.
you're shooting this right now? The goat. Yeah, you've been shooting the goat for a while since they come out.
I have probably as long as I've been shooting out of the bow is that same release.
Yeah, so I tell you a little story about the goat. Before they released the goat, we were at the ATA show, and it was like a speakeasy, right? You had to walk up to the guy and said, "Show me the goat," and it was a prototype, and it's that is ingenious for the essentially what it does. So you get two options in one hand, and it was pretty cool. But you shoot it as a thumb.
I do. Yes. Yep. And then I have an LP sight light on my bow.
Been
I
on that.
shoot a blue fiber because it's the only thing that doesn't really halo for me.
Doesn't starburst yet.
Right.
So I really like the blue fiber.
Okay. And you're still shooting boning, I'm assuming, right?
I am. Yep. Still shooting them blazers.
Yeah, that's right.
Them black. Y'all know I'm famous for shooting the black on black arrows. I know.
That's right.
Yeah. So
You don't like the new bonings? Have you even looked at them or anything like that? The new what are they called, John? The ultras?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
brand
have
new
some
one.
and been trying different things. So that's part of it too. I just wanted to get a setup that worked for me, and I know the blazers have always worked.
Sure.
But I do have some, and I will be trying.
I can tell a story about Blazer, right? Kailey was the only person I know that showed up with some indoor aluminum fat arrows with blazers. The first time I ever saw
300s with that thing.
100%. There's no doubt about it. She had proved the point that the blazer did its job. When it first came out, she stuck them suckers on aluminum arrows, and I'm thinking, oh my God. That thing ain't short 2-inch, whatever,
right.
inch
2.25. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, she pounded with those
I
things.
sure did. I'm pretty sure that picture of me and Paige in Vegas
Yep.
probably has blazers on those
veins,
aluminum
that's
arrows.
for sure. Yep. But I tell you what, I mean, I appreciate you spending the time with us today. It's been a great thing. I need to look up when your next shoot is.
Yeah, I need to look that up too. It's here in the next 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be.
Hold on, I look Georgia Archery calendar. So if nobody knows, let's see. Y'all shoot on Saturday,
Saturday, Sunday, depending.
Yep.
It looks like it's March 22nd.
March 22nd. That's right. That's what I got.
That sounds like the weekend before the next ASA.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So so that is Rocky Creek Archery Club, Hillsborough Road in Dexter.
Dexter, Georgia.
Yep. So go down there and see Kailey. She's usually at the sign-in sheet when you check in, and she'll get her bow out sometime along the way and shoot the targets.
Yeah, she actually posted a picture of me on the event, so that's me right there standing at full draw.
Yep.
So y'all know. I probably shot an 8 on that target, but you know.
Well, I tell you what, y'all, we always talk about we had to go down there and make sure we didn't shoot didn't see no rattle mistakes because y'all had a few
There's
of
tons of them.
Oh, for sure. I tell you, Kailey, I appreciate your time. Like, if you'll hang around a minute, we're gonna finish up this podcast right quick because we got to figure out who's shooting this weekend. But you're more than welcome to hang around while we talk about it.
Okay.
Because I know you can't see the show notes. I actually got Dwayne in the show notes. Anyway, who's shooting this weekend, Kailey? I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
S3DA Easton Indoor Nationals is in Owensboro, Kentucky this weekend. So those guys start on I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they got a lot of kids going to the Indoor Nationals on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. So that's an awesome event. Saturday, the Augusta Wild Outdoor Expo.
Yes.
All right. So here's the deal. There's two things. You see the next one under it's Culpeper Outdoors. Mm-hmm. It's a money shoot. So essentially, if you've never shot before and you want to shoot, you can go shoot the Augusta Wildlife Expo 3D shoot for free.
Yep.
No winnings. Just go out and have some fun. Right?
Just for fun. That's right.
Yep. If you want to shoot for money, the Culpepers are sponsoring the outdoor shoot at that same event.
That's right.
Same place, same time, same thing. And they're shooting on Saturday. Scrub Buck Bow Club in Grantville.
You got to tell me about this one. Is this a new? This is new to me.
This is new to everybody, okay. Right? I just found it on the list and thought, man, this is. And he's been posting pictures about how he said his, this is not going to be no ASA wide open shooting, right? It's probably more geared toward the hunters.
Shoot, yeah. Trash shoot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that trashy. His lanes are pretty long and pretty different and pretty whatever. But
where's
if you want
to, do you know where Grantsville at?
You have to do a Google Maps, baby. But it's in Grantville.
You looked at his event page.
I did.
He doesn't. He even said it. He's like,
"Oh, said your GPS is not going to put you there.
Yeah, it ain't going to get here." So it's one of those towns in Georgia.
It's one of them forgotten towns.
That you have to have a drawn map to get to, like turn right at the tree, and then
that's right.
You go down there. Used to be a tree right there, but there's not a tree right there, and you got that type of thing.
But look, go down there and support the guy if you ain't in the Culpeper / Augusta Wild Expo. And if you're a trad shooter, stick and string, no training wheels, North Georgia Archery Club is, North Georgia Archery Association is having their 3D shoot. That's in Gainesville. They do that every year, first Saturday of every month. So they're doing their thing. Sunday, Kailey, you don't have to worry about this because you don't qualify for the state championship because you're a pro.
Big Creek, baby. Big Creek.
Big Creek Archery. Now he gave you all a great shout out. Right?
Man, he's an awesome guy. I don't know if you ever met him before.
I have not.
He is a awesome dude. He came down and he's new. He's a new club this year.
Yep.
And he's new to ASA. He is a 30-year football coach at the high school in Douglas. I think it's in Douglas. I think it's Douglas.
Down in Stapleton.
Stapleton. So he's a 30-year football coach, retired football coach down there, and he started this club down there, and or up there for me. But
everything's up there from you.
Everything's up there from me. But so we started the archery club, and he come down and he just wanted a bunch of pointers from. I think he's been to he's been somewhere every weekend.
He's checking out I won't call it competition, but just how everybody does everything.
Right. He wants to be seriously involved in it, and the guy wants to like put forth as much effort as he can, right? Because we all know it takes a lot. It takes a ton to put on these freaking shoes. Like, it takes a ton.
For sure.
So, and he's a good dude. He wants me to come down and do a video. He's like, Dwayne, will you come down and do a video? I want to do a YouTube video. You mind bringing some guys? And I was like, yeah, man, I'll come down. So that's where we're going to be.
Well, we're headed to Stapleton on Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Stapleton on Sunday.
And truthfully, that's the only place to shoot on Sunday that I have on the calendar.
Well, unless you want to go to Augusta and shoot that, because I did talk to Tripp, and
he's going to run it Saturday and Sunday.
I think so.
Right.
So he well, don't quote me on that.
Okay, I was going to say, because I didn't see that anywhere.
He did say that's going to be a real unique place to shoot. It's going to be something that we don't normally see in Georgia, as far as like the grades, the ups and downs,
some cuts. So. Kailey, when's the last time you had to make a cut? Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky last year.
Of course.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what's shooting this weekend. If you haven't, if you didn't see your name on the list and you wanted your name on the list, you can send me an email at georgiaarchery@gmail.com. If you want to find this information and a link to which tree to turn right at, you can find it at georgiaarchery@gmail.com. I mean, georgiaarchery.com, and click the calendar page, and all the calendar has all the information on it. I try my best to put all the information of where they're at, how they get there, that kind of thing. And if they put some information on where it's at, then I try my best to post that into the link. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. There's lots of pictures from different stuff. Kailey, if there had been an S3DA when you were growing up, oh my goodness.
I know. We had nothing like that.
No, and I'm telling you, I don't know if you've ever listened to any of our podcasts with me and Dwayne, but I mean, 100+ shooters, and then
100+ shooters, yeah. Youth archers, 100 shooters, youth archers, and that. Since we're talking about that, let me ask you a question, Kailey, because there's a young lady down here that shoots in the high school down here, and she actually made the USA team, and I think she's
on the red team.
She's on the red team. Okay.
Yep. And she's shooting U.S. archery stuff. You remember those days.
And she's like extremely, like into it. She's really into it. She loves shooting her bow. She loves doing everything. And I had a coach at Rio Grande, which AJ Clements is the new coach down. I don't know if you knew that, John.
I know who AJ is. Okay. Yeah. I know.
So he approached me this weekend. He's like, dude, we're giving out scholarships. Like, we're doing, do you know any kids? Know anybody that's really into this? Like, what advice would you give a youth archer that is not a part of because she's not a part of S3DA, because we don't have an S3DA program down here, yet. We're working on it. But what advice, because you came up before S3DA, what advice would you give a youth archer that's not a part of S3DA that wants to continue through college?
Definitely. I mean, if they have the opportunity, do it. I know that I got some scholarships growing up through the years, through archery, and it helped out with some college. But definitely, if it's something that you really like, take the opportunity and do it.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity. I mean, you can build your education with it.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
One thing I wish, I do think is a great thing, the S3D archery and 4-H and everything else that goes on. That's a big number of shooters.
100%.
Of kids. Huge. That's good to hear.
It's huge. I think we have the Effingham County's got one of the largest 4-H archery programs down here. Now unfortunately we don't have a real big S3DA following because we just don't have the clubs yet. Yeah. But 4-H is huge down here, and it obviously it's going to push archers to do things like in college and in USA Archery, all that good stuff. So So anyway, that's good. I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about that.
Yep. One thing I do wish, though, over the years, I've just kind of seen it fade away. Unknown archery.
I know you do.
Ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding, ding, ding.
I like. All right, so here's the funny part, right? And I did the math, right? The first year I shot an ASA event, there were 7 classes.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Yep.
How many classes do we have at ASA right now?
Way too many,
Way
brother.
too many.
Way too many, brother. Way too many, brother.
50.
We have way too many, and in my opinion,
50.
They're all known. They don't give you a choice.
50.
They don't give you a choice. I agree with
classes.
that. The only thing I can say, I guess to be the guy that's going to debate that, right, is that where do you go to learn unknown archery?
I'm gonna say something now for me, right? And I know Kailey's got some things, but unknown archery, right? Judging distance. When you stand on your driveway and you see your post office box sitting at the end, right? Judge that. You see the telephone pole sitting across the street? Judge that. That's the way I did it for years.
Yep.
I'd walk out my front door and I would judge the yardage to that rock, to that tree, to that this, right? I had to do because I didn't have chance to judge.
No, I agree. No, I 100% agree.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to say is that you have clinics for archery, right? You have classes. You have coaches teaching archery. They teach mechanics. They teach everything except how to judge, right?
So not everybody.
Not everybody. They're out there.
They're out there.
I went to a judging coach.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Where do you go to find that coach? Like we want the judgers, we want the unknown archery to come back, but are we promoting the coaching? Are we promoting?
It's not.
What are we doing to help the kids go, you know what? I think I want to judge. I push them into judging, push them in, or whatever the case is.
Well, I will say that the sponsorship money has held on tight to the unknown distance, and I'm proud for that. I'm not, you're never going to hear me knock that. I don't have time to walk out my door and judge yardage no more, and I go for the fun of it. There's no doubt about it that I'm not planning to shoot 70th degree up or whatever it is these days in the known distance class, because that's an archer, right? That's a guy who shoots the dot, right? And has to hit the dot every time, right? And so known distance is actually, in my opinion, are harder for an average archer to shoot and win. Now, I'm not going to say that judging yardage is easy.
Now we're splitting hairs, I think.
No, because let me tell you.
What an archer is and what I think that's what we're doing.
So there's 2 pieces to this puzzle, right? And Kailey will agree with me. There's 2 pieces to this puzzle. There's the judger, right? There's the person who gets their number like half a yard right every single time, right? But they have to be confident in that.
That's right.
But then there's the guy that looks at his sight tape, rolls it up, and confident in his shot. On the other side of a judger has to not be confident just in their number, but has to make that shot like they've read it on a sight tape and shoot it. Because I'm telling you, if you ever second guess yourself on your number, you might as well just set your bow down, walk off the range.
You're right. And that's one thing about this past weekend that I did is, I don't know how far they are. I'm just guessing, But I tell you what, every shot that I shot, I knew it was right. 100%. Like, it might not have been right, but I believed it was right.
Exactly.
You were right more times than not. I could just looking at your score, I can tell you were right more times than not.
Yes, but what she's saying is even when her rangefinder has no battery, right? And she's missing the number. Yeah. She shoots that shot just as if every known guy shoots that shot.
So let me tell you what we. We find ourselves walking up to the stake, and every one of us want to judge. I'm not. Right. I can tell you that right now from experience. I've been on the range, and every time, I don't care how many people is on the stake with me. I've been on the stake with. in groups with many different people. Every time before we walk up to there, we're all talking about
judging.
that
How
looks
far
that
you
looks
think
like
that
it's about
looks like
43. That looks like it's about 33. That looks like it's about 30. Before we range it, we're all technically really we want to do it.
Yeah.
We'd rather
Scared,
not.
say you scared.
Yeah, we'd rather not. You know what I mean?
It's something that you learn. But right now, there's no opportunity. Like growing up, we shot one day known, one day unknown. Like
100%.
as kids, it was
Mhm.
all unknown when I first started. But then it
Yep.
changed into one day known, one day unknown. There's zero opportunity for kids to even learn the unknown side.
Yep.
For
You're
them to
100%
even
right.
choose to do that.
Yep.
Right. And that's what I was saying to start with. I was like, okay, so give me an example of an opportunity to teach somebody, but
Yeah.
because there is any. There isn't. I mean, I think maybe what 2 years ago y'all held a clinic at Social Circle, John.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a
I
complaint.
think
Yep. Kaylee was
You were
there.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, I was
And
there. I have the whole document made up on things that I use to judge and
Just
tips and
pieces of the
tricks.
puzzle. Yep.
okay.
Yep. And
So
it's things that you learn over time. It's not things that you're just going to learn and go out there and be able to apply in the
Yeah.
field. Like,
And and
um,
and and Jack and Sharon has gone around and done some judging
yeah. And I know some
seminars.
people that's went like to them and got
Yep.
judging tips, and
okay.
there are people out there. You just have to find them. And
If
I don't
that's
mind helping anybody out that
100%.
has questions or wants to know some information. I guarantee you, I'm not always right on my number. I could be 2 yards off, but there also might be a possibility that I'll hit that 12 still being 2 yards off. Like that's a part of unknown archery. Like
Yeah.
you don't know.
Well, people that like we, like I said, Kaylee, we shot together way back when it was all unknown,
Yeah.
and there was days that we play the game differently, right? So a known archer sets if his sight tape is correct, he clicks it to that mark, he holds hard in that 12, and he shoots the shot.
Yeah.
Now, if he doesn't execute it, look at he's shaking his head hard. But if
Nope.
he doesn't execute a shot correctly, right?
Yeah.
He's missed the dot. But there's been plenty of times, me and you have talked about it, where we go, it's 37, it's 38, it may be 38 and a half. So it's a little longer than what I'm thinking it is. So I'm just going to hold up in the top. And if I fall into the 12,
Yeah.
right? You've played that game.
It's
Right?
all about strategy. I mean, every time
Exactly.
I'm an upper shooter. So
Oh,
you know
for sure.
what? You know
Well,
why I'm an upper shooter?
you haven't
Because
always
I'm about
been.
to overjudge that target by a yard to
Yard,
maybe a yard
yard
and a
every
half
time.
and aim
That's right.
center
And
and get them.
you're gonna fly up into 12.
Right.
But that was a change that I saw in you when we put the uppers in.
Yeah.
Right?
So I loved shooting uppers growing up
Yep.
in
When
when
we
I
had the
shot
second day.
unknown known day. When they first started them, I loved shooting uppers.
Our known day was uppers. I don't know
Yeah.
if you understand that,
It
Glenn.
was.
But so our first day was unknown.
Mhm.
Right.
And when they gave us the known day, it was uppers. So
Yeah.
essentially, I'm gonna tell you, I trained myself for the longest time to draw back, anchor, and hang on the left bottom end of the butt. I was down in that 12 every single time,
Yeah.
and I would creep up in the connector. Right, I wanted to shoot those every connector there was. Now, they don't connect anymore, but they used to, and that's where I aimed. I aimed at that little line every freaking time. Now, here's the funny part: when they go, "Hey, we're going to have known distance on the second day, and you're going to shoot an upper." Now, the reason that is to keep the club's targets from wearing out in the lower.
Wearing out the target. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now, all of a sudden, I got to aim in a freaking spot I ain't never aimed in before.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
I do
I
too.
love aiming up
I'm
there.
a upper shooter.
I think my subconscious, without really thinking about it,
Yep.
I think I just gravitate towards it and I just aim
Yep.
at it.
Yeah, and I remember when the switch happened. Right, you always did it, but I remember when we didn't have it, and then all of a sudden we did, and you ran off like gangbusters.
Yeah.
Like I'll hit all the 12s. I don't care, because part of that was, like you said, strategy,
Yeah.
right? You would take and go, hey, I'm probably gonna misjudge this target, so I'm gonna hold an IBO on that side and then float up into it, right?
Yeah.
Now, see me, I shoot a strong shot and I hit high a lot.
Okay.
I hardly ever fall out, so an upper for me sucks.
Yeah.
But who knows? I'm 50 years old. I can't see them anyway, so I just put it in the middle and shoot it now. So, but yeah, I appreciate it very much. We've covered everybody that's doing. Like I said, if you want to see this information, please follow us and like us on all of social media. We're on Facebooks, Instagrams, X,
TikTok.
Snappy Chats, TikToks,
Yep.
and so follow us, like us, be sure to share it. It helps us more than anything. If you're on YouTube, this video will be out on YouTube as a podcast, and we will definitely show it to everybody. And please like it, follow us, and whatever. Kailey, I do appreciate it very much you to come on. I am super proud to watch you back up on there and not just making the second or third podium or making the shoot down, but to be standing there number one and make everybody chase you back. It showed me the drive that you used to have that I used to see, and I understand what happens when you have a baby. Things change, and you have to transition through that. And now you've gotten settled into your normal life routine, and you're back at it. So I appreciate it very much for coming out and hanging out with us. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a great year for you.
I hope
If
so.
you just keep going the way you're going. So
it definitely is. We were proud to see that. We're proud of you.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you. I appreciate it. I
Always rooting
appreciate
for the
all the
Georgia
support
girls.
from everybody.
Yeah, we done shouted out your sponsor, shouted out your club, and we shout out for everything you do for just females in the archery. I always tell everybody, I happen to coach a bunch of females, and I always say, hey, if you're looking at somebody, that's the one to look at, and she is more than welcome to answer a question if you need it. So, but yeah,
And I'm here if anybody ever has any questions about bow
yep.
setup or um, yardage judging.
Oh, for sure.
It really comes down to the game plan you're going to play during the
That's
round
it.
because
And
you're going to have to stick with your game plan.
and Jack Wallace always said, once he learned how to play the game,
Yep,
he became so much better
that's right.
because
Making the right decisions.
making the right decisions. I mean, it's all about gameplay, and it's about making the right decisions. Go up there and go, I may not hit that one, so I'm just going to take my 10 and move to the next one, right?
Yep.
And that's the hardest thing for a lot of guys to do. So,
Yep.
we appreciate your time. It's been awesome. Thank you very much. And I guess that's going to be the end. Until next time, I'm Big John. That's Dwayne, and that's Kailey. We'll see you.